A 7-4 loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs on a Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, prime time game, and the Oilers come up that short of what would have been a huge swing out east if they would have been able to take down Buffalo, Boston, and Toronto three in a row. But friends, this is Dolany TV. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel this evening. My great pleasure to have you along as we're going to discuss kind of some post-game shenanigans that came out of the Oilers locker room that are absolutely incredible to see from our Edmonton Oilers group following a devastating 7-4 loss. But before we get there, friends, if you're new to the channel, what I want you to do right now is consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to have you aboard for more Edmonton Oilers discussion the rest of the season and into the playoffs. So make sure if you have a chance to do that. But before we get too far, first off, leaders. Leaders are important, right? We can all agree on that. Every team, every organization needs good leaders to succeed. And the Oilers, for the past several years, as long as McDavid's been captain, have been questioned many times over, do they have a good enough leadership group? Well, you look, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Darnell Nurse, Zach Hyman. That is your core five leadership group right now. Matthias Ekholm working his way in there, and obviously probably too had a bit to play in tonight's action against sending out some youngsters to the Wolves. But friends, you know what? The Oilers, you need an answer to that question. If they have good enough leaders, they absolutely do. So I'll show you a tweet here in a second from Tony Brar. It's been made mention several times over on social media this evening, but the Oilers did something following a loss that I think speaks volumes as to what this team is trying to achieve this season and beyond as an organization. Let me cue this up right here. So post game, right, it was Ryan McLeod and Vinny Desharnais and Zach Hyman were the ones requested to speak to the media following the 7-4 loss. If you didn't watch tonight's game, you wouldn't exactly know why you're picking Ryan McLeod and Vinny Desharnais in a 7-4 loss. The two of them, back-to-back goals, had two very, very tough giveaways right in the zone or in front of the net that resulted directly in goals against that led to the avalanche that was the 7-4 loss against the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. However, the Oilers leadership group erased 71 and 73 off the board, and Nugent Hopkins and Evander Kane went out there and took their place. Mark down Evander Kane is another guy in that leadership group. You're thinking, man, how's the leadership group expanded that much? How do you have that many guys that are considered part of the leadership group? Because you know what? Here's the beauty of it. The core steps up and sends a powerful message in the room. You win as a team and you lose as a team. And that is the biggest change in this Oilers team since that road trip through California, that loss to the LA Kings, where all heck broke loose as that game went on, and the Oilers started fighting for each other and absolutely going to town to defend one another, either now in the instances of going in front of the media or going out there on the ice and having each other's backs, which is phenomenal because you know what, it would be very simple, right? As the core, oh well, these guys screwed it up, they can go speak for themselves, right? They can absolutely go do that. Or you can go out there, step up for your young guys. Vinny Desharnais is on what, like pro game number 21 at most. Ryan McLeod's got 2-3 change seasons of not full hockey, and you know what, it would be very easy to just let them take the lumps in the media, let them be the face of these losses and stuff, and of course let people go out there on the comments section of the YouTube videos or the Twitter videos or the Facebook videos and just tear our young guys to shreds. Or the core, now knowing what it takes to win and lose in Edmonton, steps up, goes out there and talks to the media and faces the masses instead of allowing the young guys to be thrown into the spotlight unnecessarily, right? I mean, right, individually speaking, not speaking here on behalf of the entire game, but individually speaking, Ryan McLeod was not responsible for tonight's loss. nor was Vinny Desharnais. Now, obviously, when I say that, everybody will point the finger immediately at Darnell Nurse. However, you win as a team, you lose as a team, and if you can point a finger at one guy as to why you lost or gave up 7 goals, that guy is insanely bad. And I can tell you, even Darnell Nurse was not on the ice for all 7 goals against. Sometimes you have to get a goal stop from your goaltender. Sometimes you have to get a lucky bounce. Sometimes. And unfortunately, you can never blame someone 100% of the time for something that is not their fault. So that's what is beautiful about this tonight from the Edmonton Oilers' perspective is the core understands, right? And I think Nugent Hopkins stepping up and going out there and Evander Kane going out there and facing the media really speaks volumes. Nugent Hopkins, the longest serving Edmonton Oiler, he knows night in, night out what it takes to win and what it takes to deal with the Oilers fan base and the Oilers media, and he steps in there and does his thing. And Evander Kane, a guy who has been an absolutely just a figure that is just what's the word? It's way too late at night, but like just a guy that is divided fans across the NHL his entire career, and this is the kind of things he's doing in his last chance stop in Edmonton to do something. Obviously earned the contract after last year, and now is stepping up as a part of the core to go out there and defend guys like Ryan McLeod and Vincent Desharnais from having to face something like that. And I mean, not saying that it's great that Ryan McLeod and Vinny Desharnais were able to escape blame from the media members, but you've seen what the treatment from the media was on Jesse Puljujärvi. You've seen the treatment on several Oilers over the years. Do you really want somebody like Mark Spector, somebody out there in the Oilers land now choosing somebody like Ryan McLeod or Vinny Desharnais as the reason why the Oilers fail night in, night out? Because I certainly don't. You know what? I love Ryan McLeod. I think the guy's got one of the best reputations as one of the nicest Edmonton Oilers on the team. And secondly, Vinny Desharnais, man, he's lucky his hand wasn't broken post game. So, right, are you really going to go out there and just sewer these guys to the guys that pretty much are here to lay blame every single second of the day? Because not very often in Oilers land do you see too many glowing articles of players and glowing articles all year long. It's always blame. They could be better. And unless we go 82-0 and then go 16-0 in the playoffs and win the Stanley Cup, we're not good enough. That's generally the message from fans and from the media in Oilers land. So tonight, a very important message. And this, I mean, if you want to watch the Oilers come out of the gate next game round, I would not be surprised, and especially too seeing great games from Ryan McLeod and Vinny Desharnais, I would not be surprised if that is indeed the case this next game out. You look at what happened in the standings today. Vegas now up to 86 points. The Kraken sit still at 80 after losing to the Ottawa Senators today. Losing on Thursday. They played Dallas on Monday, my pardon. And secondary to this, you'd go over here and look at how this one shakes out. We play Ottawa on Tuesday, so we have 2 days off, and you have a bottom feeder team in the Ottawa Senators who are on the bubble for a playoff spot, but they're starting to fade away pretty quick. Guess what, friends? I would say the Oilers are looking pretty good for a rebound performance against the Ottawa Senators. But again, just want to say how dang proud I am of this leadership core and how much it means to me as an Oilers fan who has sat here and had so many people blame Connor McDavid and blame the leadership in the Oilers room for not being good enough and the reason we fail. And then, you know what, we fail tonight and they step up and take onus for it. That's fantastic to see. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Stallini TV. Have yourself a great night. I'm up on out of here.